Hello and a very warm welcome to all the viewers of 3.0 TV. And I am Shikha Singh. So the emergence of Web 3.0 has altered various industries including gaming. Web3 game entering the market, capturing the attention of players all over the world. These games provide a more involved and enjoyable experience for players by making it effective use of blockchain, smart contracts and decentralized networks. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have invited a very special guest with us to understand the intricacies of Web3 gaming. Today we have with us Mr. Abhishek Sagar, founder and CEO of Zuraverse. Welcome to 3.0 TV, sir.
My pleasure to be here, Web 3.0, and you guys have been doing a great job in 3.0 TV.
So my first question to you is, for an average gamer, the world of Web3 can be pretty complex. That's because trying to understand blockchain and managing digital wallets and navigating the nuances of cryptocurrency transactions can be challenging. Plus, learning the new age technology itself is a daunting task. So all these factors act as an entry barrier for the traditional gamers. So what measures do you think should a Web3 gaming studio take to eliminate these barriers for the traditional gamers to enter the Web3 gaming space? Also, what are the advantages of Web3 gaming?
So let me start with the advantages first, and then I would come to how the studio should handle this. So the major advantages of blockchain gaming is, and this is a very famous story that started with the founder of Vitalik of Ethereum, Vitalik, and Vitalik was like he used to be a very hardcore World of Warcraft player, and one day he realizes that his gaming assets have been removed by the company themselves, and they just added something new instead of what he already had, and that really disappointed him. A lot of people say that he cried out on that, and that was the reason he got into decentralization of assets, and today we have Ethereum as one of the game changers of this century, right? So Web3 gaming has very deep roots in ownership of assets, and this is something which is in my opinion is the core fundamental of why people use Web3 gaming and why they would be using Web3 gaming in the future, is so that it doesn't matter like what game you're on or what chain you're on or what ecosystem you're on. If you have an asset that you have obtained or that you have cultivated into an ecosystem, then it stays with you, and you can probably have more use cases with it in the coming times. So gamers spend a lot of time playing the games. They spend a lot of money. They spend billions of dollars. Like if we take the gamers collectively, then gamers spend billions of dollars playing games. And if what do they get in return? Apart from the real money gaming or play to earn kind of games, what gamers get is that experience that they hold in that game, their player levels, and some assets that they earn over the game. And if we are able to keep this secure, if we are able to keep this for the players, then it is going to be a great advantage. And this is the advantage that Web3 gaming brings, along with the advantages of security and transparency. So now coming to the second part, that is how can studios make this experience easier for the players? So till now, the Web3 gaming industry has been mostly been ruled by people who have been into the DeFi space already, people who have been active traders, people who have been into different operations on DeFi, like staking and using DEXs. So people who have been mining. So these have been the people who are well aware with the fundamentals of how DeFi works, how blockchains work, and these have been the active gamers in the space, as well as with the developers who are already building solutions around these things. But now, when the market needs to expand, and as right now, if we consider the whole of the gaming industry, the Web3 games just have a market share of nothing more than 5%. So it's just something between 3 to 4%. So to make it mainstream, to make it reach out to a larger audience, what we need to do is to keep the blockchain-based operations in the background and put the experience in the front. So that is what gamers need. Gamers need a good game. Gamers need good experience, and they need some mechanisms to make value out of the time that they spend in the games. And this is where, of course, Web3 gaming prevails. That is where its power is, that people can make money out of these games. They can multiply their earnings. So this was the reason why a lot of people came into the Web3 gaming. But what will make its mass adoption would be the user experience, and that would come through keeping the, like I said, keeping the wallets and all these connections that happen with the blockchains in the background, and give a good solid experience to the user in the front.
All right, so we discussed several benefits of using blockchain technology and what is Web3 gaming and the advantages of Web3 gaming. So the main advantage of blockchain is the security. In fact, it is the best selling point. Yet the ecosystem doesn't seem to be immune to breaches. So what is your take on that? I mean, how can projects prevent them from falling prey to hackers?
So yeah, this is one of the most important problem. Like you said, like it's one of the problems that is being solved, but again, it is a problem that is occurring. And one of the measures that every project must take is, because all of these blockchain-based products, these dApps, these games, these are being governed by smart contracts. And smart contracts is the way through which usually the hackers find a way to enter into any contract, and take out the money from those contracts from different wallets can be hacked through that. So it is most essential to do a proper auditing of whatever smart contracts you are deploying in your games or in your dApps, and that has to be done by reputable firms. There are a lot of firms who are doing very well in the space of auditing, and I must recommend all the projects as well as users who are minting from any collection to see what kind of auditing has been done in the smart contract. Otherwise, it may lead to some kind of difficulties. It's becomes more vulnerable to hacks, as well as it may lead to phishing or scams as well. And the second thing in the space, which is very important, is to be aware of the scams, and that is only possible by by reading whatever transaction you are signing. So there are a lot of hackers who make a lot of clones. So we, for an example, recently we launched our first NFT collection that was a free mint, and there were 5,000 NFTs that people could mint. So we did it with our partner Blockchain Saga, and as soon as the post was dropped, as soon as people started sharing it on social media, so we saw that people made a clone of our own website. So there was a scam site that came up in less than an hour. So these guys just made a scam site copying our original website, and they started posting misleading people onto that site. So these kind of things are something that must be taken care of by the community, by the audience who are minting NFTs or are doing any on-chain transactions, is to verify, is to see like which are the authentic links. So just you should check with the project themselves, check in their community, and do not just click on any links that you see on social media.
So despite the hacks and everything, blockchain technology is widely adopted in a lot of countries, and in India itself, a lot of states have already adopted the blockchain technology. But the regulatory aspect surrounding the cryptocurrencies and NFTs is still in flux. So do you think this regulatory uncertainty can be a roadblock for developers and impedes investments or investors, complicating the global operation of Web3 games? And what is your advice to Web3 gaming developers?
Sure. So yes, this is one of the issues which has been there since some time, and the regulatory issues are always there because DeFi involves a lot of finance, and governments have to be careful about how the money is the inflow and outflow of money that is coming out in their country. So that makes a lot of sense still to have some regulatory bodies around it. And as people are getting more aware, things are being clarified, but at the same time we see a lot of setbacks happening in this space as well. For example, recently we had this announcement that a lot of foreign exchanges would be banned in India, which is definitely going to affect all of the crypto as well as the GameFi industry. But in this aspect, gaming still has an advantage, and that advantage is with NFTs because there have not been exact laws or a lot of stringent or strict laws around NFTs, and that allows people to trade in NFTs and make profit, even make profit out of it. As for gaming communities, people have not seen a decline in the case of NFT gaming, and people who have been using it, they are still using it. But of course, having better regulations is always a boost to the community, and it helps to create a healthy environment. As for the global scenario, a lot of countries do have these regulations, but then people make out ways they have to trade with different people, and people do make ways anyway, any which way or other. It's just like banning something which is a thing of public utility. If it is so, then people always find a way. So yeah, so we do need better understanding by government bodies of these systems, be it cryptocurrencies or NFTs, and we need better regulations which would help grow the industry.
Right. So my next question to you, sir, is that the rush to capitalize on the Web3 trend has actually led to an early market saturation with numerous projects entering the fray. It seems the rush has eventually hampered the quality of games. Like a lot of Web3 games not meet high quality standards, with many prioritizing blockchain integration over engaging gameplay and narrative. So how do you assess the current Web3 gaming scenario, and what is your take on the sector's prospect?
Yes, that is absolutely right. That a lot of people, when the DeFi started booming and cryptocurrencies were getting into a high stage, the market was bullish a couple of years back. So a lot of projects jumped into the bandwagon of GameFi and Metaverse, and they raised a lot of money from different investors. But they did not had a lot of fundamental ideas of gaming, and which led to creation of a lot of substandard games in the Web3 gaming space. But now that is changing eventually, as a lot of big brands have been jumping into this space.
Right.
A lot of brands have become unicorns who started out, and they have also gained a lot of insights over the year. And especially in 23 and coming 24, we saw a couple of really good projects kicking in and getting really great traction, which has been a really good signal that in 2024 and 2025 we would be seeing a lot more world class games that can compete with the traditional gaming industry in the Web3 space. People like companies are building a lot of lores around it, a lot of different mechanisms to make profits out of the assets, as well as inducing new gameplay elements that interest a lot of users. So it's exciting. There are numerous projects. At least 10 good projects are out there who are really bullish at this point.
Right. So, like major companies like Ubisoft or Tencent and Nintendo, they've already forayed into the Web3 gaming space. So, do you think this will continue in 2024 as well?
Yes, it's definitely going to continue in 2024 and beyond, because these companies, the gamers, are becoming more aware, and they are also the community of these companies, these giants, unicorns, like you
Right.
mentioned, Ubisoft and Activision as well, and all these companies. So these Tencent. So the community is also questioning now when they make any major changes in their game. So the community straight up asks why this change was made and what will happen to the assets that I had earned over the years. So it's inevitable that eventually these assets would be something that the gamers would own, and it is only possible through getting on chain, getting on Web3. So, in my opinion, it's inevitable. It's just a matter of time when all the big studios and small studios would transition into the space.
So, what is the difference between traditional gaming and Web3 gaming? And do you think Web3 gaming will overtake traditional gaming going forward?
Sure. So traditional gaming has been there since over 3 decades now, and we have used different devices such as handheld devices, gaming consoles, PCs, mobiles, laptops to
Correct.
use these games. And the usual method of using these games are you download it, you pay either you pay upfront money for whatever it is, whether it be a digital download or through a disc, or you get some in-app purchases paying through either your credit card, debit card, or via your digital payments that is linked to your bank. So wherever you are making payments for the games using a banking system, that is the traditional gaming. And Web3 gaming, on the other hand, is something where you are making the payments via cryptocurrencies. So that is the basic difference. But moreover, Web3 gaming has evolved with the onset of blockchain, and it has been new, and there has been a lot of issues that Web3 gaming has overcome and is coming into the scene, because Web2 gaming has grown along with our banking systems, along with internet banking. So that is why it is much more stable at this point. But Web3 gaming, on the other hand, as it is a lot based on blockchain, so it has its own advantage. These advantage include the first and foremost is the ownership of digital assets. The second is the security aspects of it, because there are on-chain records of all the transactions that are happening, so it is much more secure. And the third thing is the transparency that it offers. So players can see where their assets are. There are on-chain records of every transaction that is happening. So it is a foolproof method. So people do not need to worry about the security of their assets in Web3 gaming. Apart from that, people have also integrated a lot of interesting concepts in Web3 gaming around finances. So making it a GameFi. So yeah, the word GameFi itself has originated not so long ago. So it's a very new sector and it's coming up really fast. And very soon, we believe like within this decade itself, most of the games that we are seeing today that are making money would be transitioning into the Web3 gaming mode. That is my prediction, and because it gives it creates a win-win situation for both the developers who can have their unique revenue streams that can be driven via different systems, as well as for the players who can have the ownership of their assets, as well as enjoy making more profits from the games that they would be playing.
So my last question to you, sir, is that according to a recent report by Delphi Digital, the market capitalization of 183 gaming projects has reached a stability, although they fluctuate between $4 billion and $7 billion, which is 86% lower than the peak level of 2022. And at present, around 1.2 million daily distinct active wallets are participating in gaming protocols. So what do you think is the future of Web3 gaming in 2024?
Well, Web3 gaming definitely took a dip in 2023,
Right.
because 2022 had it was sort of the ending phase of bull market, and that was the time when the projects also started declining. We saw a huge decline in a lot of metaverse and GameFi projects. But then by the end of 2023, the market has already started recovering, and 2024 has shown really good signals for the upcoming and also the existing projects. So yeah, we are definitely optimistic this year, as more and more games are also being launched. People who had been building for the past years, especially 2023 has been a year where most of the projects have just been keeping their head down, including us, and people have been building because investments were a bit dry. A lot of investments were kind of slowed down in 2023, but now that is picking up again, and we are going to see a lot of more releases in 2024.
Right. So before we end this session, do you have any concluding remarks or any advice for our viewers?
Sure. So my straight on advice would be to follow 3.0 TV for everything that happens in Web3, that happens everything around DeFi and GameFi. It's my source of getting a lot of new information as well, and I definitely recommend it to you guys. Moreover, 2024 is going to be a very interesting year for the whole Web3 space. So keep your eyes and ears open, be informed, be be aware of all the good things that is happening, and yeah, make the best out of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had a very informative and insightful talk regarding the world of Web3 gaming and its way forward. Hope to interact more with you in the future, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Right. This is Shikha Singh signing off, and you're watching 3.0 TV.